When I was a kid, I slept on a teal pillow with purple polka dots in my dad's clock shop. He sold clocks at the clock shop because at a clock shop you sell clocks. But anyway, so yeah, but not like new clocks, like alarm clocks, like old grandfather clocks, like oak finish, all that. And he wouldn't sell like watches. He only repaired watches. Like he made a point of that. Like he wouldn't sell watches. Like it just didn't happen. But anyway, yeah. Um, so I would wake up every morning at 7 a.m. not a minute too early, because if I woke up too early, then I would fall back asleep, and you would wake me up and surprise me. And yeah, I hate waking up too early, because then you want to go back to sleep, and like especially when it's only a few minutes, because then you want to go back to sleep, but you can't, because like might as well get up now. God, I hate that. But yeah, so back to the point. We made these things called clock dogs. Now I know what you're thinking. Clock dog. What's this guy talking about? Well, I should clarify. A clock dog does not consist of a clock nor a dog. It's actually a clock within the dog. Not a dog like the animal, but like a hot dog. It's edible. So we sold these hot dogs. Not hot dogs, my bad. Clock dogs. See, even I'm making a mistake. Yeah, so we sold these clock dogs, but no one bought them because they were. Let me describe it to you. All right, it's not easy to describe because it had its own essence, its own magnificence that's hard to put in words. It was on this nice tan bun with an oak finish, and of course it had the dog in the center. Not the animal. And it had either a minute hand, a second hand, or an hour hand on it. Yeah, that's the one. And the thing about the hour hands that I remember, see, the hour hands are meant to be thicker because you mainly want to see the hour before the minute. So that it only makes sense, like if they're thicker at a glance, which I don't get. Like at schools, the hour hand and the second hand are the same thickness. Like I don't think that's right. I mean, I get that we have digital watches. This is 2016, and we don't have to look at old ass clocks. But I mean, I don't have a cell phone, so I can't just whip it out. Well, I do have a cell phone actually, and but it's not like a smartphone or anything. It just tells me the time for like Abu Dhabi and everything. But that's besides the point. Yeah, so yeah, back to the point. So we sold these dogs, right? Oak finish on the bun, dog, hour or minute hand. Now the hour hands, we didn't have as many because there aren't as many hours as there are minutes, which also I don't get, because there are 60 minutes in an hour, right? So why aren't there 60 hours in a day? That doesn't make much sense. But yeah, and like what's with the second hand? Like, why is it faster than the hour hand? Is it because it's thinner and like it can move faster? I don't know. But yeah, the second hands were these thin little crunchy ones, right? And no one got their clock dog with a second hand clock dog, if you will, because they were so thin and crunchy they would probably mess up your teeth. But my dad, oh man, he loved a good clock dog. Let me tell you, he could eat up a clock dog in a second. I said, Dad, how come you like the clock dogs, but your customers don't? And he was like, well, he didn't answer me. But I'm guessing it's just because my dad, my clock dad, had the clock blood in him. So it only makes sense that he would appreciate the clock dog. But he wasn't making any money off of these things. Like, I didn't get it. It was such a genius creation. It was so magnificent. Like, you could smell them from a mile away. perfect mix of dog and clock. Clock dog, not dog clock. Look, don't even get me started on dog clock. You don't know how many times people would walk in and call them dog clocks. It's clock dog. You go to the clock shop to get a clock dog, not a dog clock. You want to get a dog clock, you go to a pet shop. Why does a dog need its own clock? I mean, dogs can't tell time. That's stupid. Fucking idiots. But yeah. So, oh, wait. This is the good part. Let's pull up. Just listen. Alright, yeah, so I said, Dad, why are you the only person that can consume a clock dog? And he didn't say anything. And apparently, I started reading up, because not only was my clock dad a dad clock, but he also was a librarian. No, that's not true, he wasn't a librarian, but he had a lot of books at his shop. So I read the books, and I found out that at the time of, this all ties in with the Cuban Missile Crisis, because at the start of the Cuban Missile Crisis, JFK associated with Gorbachev to discuss the dismantling of the missiles in the Soviet Union, but Gorbachev was like, nah, bruh, we need these missiles, dog. Clock dog, get it? Alright, so JFK's offering to Gorbachev was a clock dog. It turns out that my dad didn't make the first clock dog. In fact, it was JFK who conceived the idea. Now, obviously, my dad knows more about my clock dad knows more about clock dogs, than this freaking JFK scrub. So obviously, his clock dogs tasted much better, I assume. But yeah, he offered this clock dog to Gorbachev. Gorbachev didn't know what to think of it, and obviously still didn't want to get rid of those missiles in the Soviet Union. So I figured out that Gorbachev was, he didn't like clock dogs for some reason, and I'm thinking, so my dad's customers don't like clock dogs, and neither does Gorbachev. So the only logical conclusion to this is that all of my dad's customers are from the Soviet Union, and that they are still mad about the Cuban Missile Crisis. Like, I don't get it. Like, you could have put them out of business. Like, I mean, you can be racist all you want, but you can buy a clock dog and try it at least. Like, you don't have to be so negative about them. Like, everyone hated clock dogs. Like, I just don't get it. And you're probably thinking, did you try a clock dog? No, I didn't try a clock dog. I mean, it's absurd. It's a dog with a clock. Well, no, it's not that simple. It's a clock with a dog. No, it's not that either. Look, it's hard to explain, but the clock dogs, they were something special. And I just think that people should give clocks and dogs more of a chance. Do you know people still support puppy mills? Like, that's awful. Like, puppy mills take dogs and make them eat clocks. Like, what? That's absurd. My dad would never support that. And any good clock dad would shut down a puppy mill. And then don't even get me started on the clock mills, because they abuse clocks. Don't support clock mills. Don't support clock mills 2016. But yeah, back to the point. If you see a clock dog for sale, not that you will, because my dad, made the best clock dogs, and clock dogs have been out of production for a while now. So have clocks, honestly. Maybe that makes sense now. Maybe they stopped making so many clock dogs because the dog clocks stopped being made as well. Not dog clocks, just clocks in general, like old clocks. Come to think of it, old clocks are pretty obsolete because we can just look at the right-hand corner of your computer and see the time, and it even has a little calendar. And I think, I mean, it isn't fair for like people like my old man who want to sell the clocks. But it's whatever. I mean, it's the future, At one point, we won't even use time as a system. Like, have you ever considered that? Time's just this fabricated numerical concept. Like, it doesn't really exist. We just do it to keep ourselves organized. Like, when, like, we gotta take our dogs to a daycare center, we gotta remember what time it was. Oh, it's 5 o'clock. Gotta take Snoopy to the puppy mill. No, don't take Snoopy to the puppy mill. Take him to the vet. Um, or I don't know. Maybe you have a clock appointment at your clockter. Clockter. Um, but yeah, time is a fabricated concept made by my dad. I should include that my dad is Father Time, basically. I don't know if that's true or not. He always called himself Father Time, so I'm just gonna trust him. And maybe that's what. Maybe he was also Father Dog. So you put two and two together, Father Clock Dog. Like he sold clock dogs. I don't know. I mean, my dad was never a dog guy. He had a cat once at his shop, but he actually had to get rid of it because the clock shop wasn't big enough for my big clock dad and his big old clock dong. So he had to get rid of the cat. It was very sad. Um, I remember I remember him crying, and he never really got another animal after that. I guess he just knew he didn't have enough space with his big old clock dong. But I wonder if he had kept that cat longer, would he have conceived the first clock cat? Like I know it sounds absurd because there's not like a hot cat food. So there's only a hot dog. Well, maybe there is. Wait, let me look it up. Hold on. Hot cat. I'm gonna get a bunch of furry porn now. Oh my God, hot cat. If you go on Google Images, all right, listen, forget about Catwoman, all right? If you go on Google Images and you look up hot cat, there's a little little cat in a hot dog suit. That's so cute. But you probably couldn't eat it, and it probably wouldn't be as good as a clock dog anyway. Let's look up clock cat. Clock cat. Probably just a clock cat. Those little clocks or the pendulum is the tail, and it moves around. Those are cute, but you can't eat them, so what are they to me, right? Like, you can't eat a clock. I mean, you could eat a clock. Technically, a clock dog is a clock. I mean, I don't want to say that a clock dog is a clock or a dog, because it's more than that. Like, it's this creation. Like, you would have to ask my dad, man. He was a genius. But, where was I going with this? He couldn't sell them, and eventually, the health guy came over and ran the place down. This was after we got rid of the cat, by the way. So yeah, the health guy came. He ran us out of town. We had to get rid of the shops, but luckily we did not have to get rid of the clocks. And the clocks were the foundation of the clock dog recipe, so I guess it wasn't that big a deal. I mean, sure, we were homeless and our only form of profit was shut down by the FDA, but hey, you gotta get by. So yeah, we found this dog, right? And we needed another dog for the clock dog recipe. And now I know what you're thinking. You said that clock dogs don't include like actual animal dogs. Well, the thing is, at one point they did because we took this dog, right? It was a pretty cute dog. It was a little cocker spaniel, the mangy coat of fur. He was a noisy little guy. I kind of liked him, but yeah, my dad took him behind the CVS, and he made another clock dog out of this thing. Because we had another hot dog lying around, of course. I mean, my dad loved hot dogs. He loved a good Frank. Um, but yeah, and it just, it didn't taste the same. We didn't have the minute hand in there, didn't have the hour hands because, like I said, the hour hands are not big in production, because there are less hours in a minute. Um, so yeah, it didn't taste right, and dog didn't taste nearly as good as I thought it would. Like I get that they're man's best friend and all, but this thing, oh God, it was awful. You know, would you rather eat a hot dog or like a hot animal dog? Like what if it was warm? Would you rather eat the hot dog? All right, here's a good question. Would you rather eat of these three choices a hot dog, like the animal, like a warm dog, a cold hot dog, like the food, or a clock dog? Let me know. Honestly, between you and me, I'd take the clock dog, even though I said I don't like clock dogs. I mean, I wouldn't eat a dog. Let me just get that out of the way. I think that's wrong. Like, I don't understand how people in foreign countries can, like, just take a dog and stick a pole through its ass and skin it, have it for dinner with the kids. Like, that's messed up. Ever since Egypt, dogs have been man's best friend, and they're so cute. Like, sure, they slobber and they don't taste good, and but but they're so friendly, like for no reason either. Like you could probably, I heard about there was this dog that like got beat up by its owner and it followed him back home like that. Like no human being would do that. Like dogs are amazing, man. And yeah, back to the puppy mill thing. Like how could you be so cruel? Like making innocent dogs eat innocent clocks. Like it's practically cannibalism among clock dog kind. Like I mean, you can be a dog or a clock or even a clock dog, the hybrid. We're all in the same boat. So it's just wrong. I think clock mills and puppy mills are just equally terroristic. Like someone should do something about that. It's crazy. The FDA has the nerve. They have the nerve to shut down our clock talk business, and yet they turn a blind eye to the whole mill system over there. They're making dogs eat clocks, clocks eating dogs. It's disgraceful. Like our country is in shambles, and to think that we're gonna let some lizard bull with a weird toupee call the shots. Like, that's just scary. Will Donald Trump support clock mills? Like, okay, I guess a better question to start with would be, would D. Trump consume a clock dog? Just looking at him, I'd say no. Like, he doesn't have nearly as much finesse or tolerance that my old man did. You know, he probably, still eats like a little kid cuisine John's. Like he doesn't know good food when he sees it. That's what I'm saying. Like, just look at him. Like he looks depraved. First of all, not depraved. Well, yes, depraved too, but deprived of nutrients. Like he needs a quick serving of like those worms they feed to the lizards. Like he needs a quick handful of them. And we don't want some lizard running the country. Like, and not to mention the lizards running the government. Like maybe he knows them. Maybe he's their agent. Like he's it's like a publicity stunt from the lizard people. Um, you know, and people say like, yeah, ooh, feel the burn, but I don't care about Bernie. Let me make this frank. I don't care about Bernie Sandar, whatever his name is, if he doesn't do anything about the clock mills. Like I think the next president of the United America should do something about it. Like it's gone on for too long. When were we selling clock dogs? Like what? 2004? Like, it's still going on. It's 2017 and they're still making dogs eat. Yeah, clocks eat dogs. Sorry, I got that mixed up. But yeah, back to the point. Um, I don't think anyone in this world is suitable for the United States presidency, but my uh, uh, you ever have your brain just like shit in the bed? That's just what happened to me. Um, I'm gonna look it up. All right. I know I'm talking out of my butt here, but I'm gonna back this up with statistics. All right. How many? Well, we'll start with puppy mills because that's the obvious one. How many puppy mills are in the U.S.? All right, from humansociety.org. See, .org, not some Wikipedia. Wait, Wikipedia is .org too. Not some WikiHow.net. This is official info. Let me read this. It is estimated that there are at least 10,000 puppy mills in the U.S. What the hell, man? Fewer than 3,000 of these are regulated by the U.S. Department of Agriculture. Yo, UDA, get on that, John, man. What are you doing? They're eating clocks. They're wasting all the hour hands. The Humane Society of the United States presents the following reports on puppy mills for reference by animal advocates, members, blah, blah, blah. All right, 10,000. Look, even 1,000 is too much. Let's consider this, all right? At every puppy mill, we're going to say there's at least 100 dogs, right? And there are at least 10,000 of them. 100 dogs times 10,000 dog mills. That's 1,000,000 dogs, yo! A million dogs gone to waste because some Ron Jeremy looking old man says it's a good idea to make a dog eat a clock and end its own life. You realize how many resources you're wasting? All right. Before I go off, let me Google the next one. All right. How many clock mills are there in the U.S.? No, not coal mines. Clock mills. I know what I'm talking about. Christ. Yeah, clock mills. Nothing. Nothing. What? There's nothing. And yet, when I Googled the thing about the dog mill, it was like one of the first results. What? Look, this just goes to show that the lizard people are trying to manipulate your way of thinking, telling you that dogs are more important than clocks. Listen, you know what I said earlier. I love dogs. I love them. But clocks are just as important as dogs. Without clocks, we couldn't have clock dogs. Like it's an equilibrium, people. You can't have a clock dog without a clock and a dog. You can't just have two dogs and make a clock dog. If you put two dogs together, all you're gonna get is a puppy. Um, this is just goes to show how unbalanced our system is. Like, not even Google's on my side. Like, and I was taught also by my dad to always trust the internet. So this just goes to show that wow. And just to think that a lizard has the leading vote in Iowa. That's crazy. People, if you're listening to this, don't let the don't what's the phrase? Like, don't fan the fire. Don't fuel the car. Don't don't vote for Trumpo. You can vote for whoever you want, all right, except the lizard boy, because he's a bad man. Like, I wonder. Let me do some more research. Donald Trump on clocks. What does he think of clocks? Um, Nothing. Wow. You know what? Donald Trump on dogs. This could be good. This could be good. Jimmy Kimmel finds out if dogs obey Donald Trump. This is the truth, people. They say dogs know everything. Uh, where's the video? There it is. All right, here's the video. So Jimmy Kimmel is he's like a comedian, right? Wait, what? Yo, based on your IP address, we notice you're trying to access Hulu through an anonymous proxy tool. The government runs Hulu! They know! Dude! Yo, they know! They're trying to let this go on, man. They're trying to take let this lizard with the cotton ball on his head take the desk and just ruin clocks and dogs alike. Like, what? First, I didn't get anything on Donald Trump on clocks, and they blocked me when I tried to look up Trump on dogs. Wow. Look, if I've said it before, the government, like time, is a fabricated system. It may or may not have also been created by my dad, because he was a pretty smart guy. I wouldn't be surprised. I never asked him, but if we let Donald Frederick Trump, what's his middle name? If we let Donald John Trump run the government and run our mills, we will never see a resurrection of the clock dog. Like, I know that's a broad statement, but it's true. Like, people like you watching this speech will never know the joy of a clock dog. And like the Soviets, you will all scoff at the idea of a clock dog. And that depresses me. People, make America great again.